guys, welcome to my favorite corner of our house. I just love it. It makes me very happy, which is odd to say that a corner of a house makes me happy, but I love how it looks like the sun and the plant. And so here I am planted today on my bouquet on Saturday. Okay, anyway, I hope you guys are having a great Saturday so far. I went out to breakfast with my grandparents and that was super fun. And then I went to Target and that was very nice. And it may be cold and windy outside, but it is sunny, so I will accept the sun. I will accept the sum of sun. You know what I'm saying? All right, so I really wanted to share some thoughts about Psalm 32. Yeah, so previously, Psalm 32 has not been one of the psalms or passages in general in my Bible that is over highlighted with like 70 neon colors or lots of notes and annotations. But I felt really led to it, and after reading it, after reading it, I found there's a lot of really good things in here, and I just wanted to share it in hopes that to somebody it can speak some truth into their life and maybe shine a light on some things in hopes to move forward. So I have my little papers here. I'm going to start by reading Psalm 32, and then I'm just going to add some notes in. So Psalm 32 says, "Oh, what joy for those whose disobedience is forgiven, and whose sin is put out of sight. Yes, what joy for those whose record the Lord has cleared of guilt, whose lives are lived in complete honesty. When I refused to confess my sins, my body wasted away, and I groaned all day long. Day and night, your hand of discipline was heavy on me. My strength evaporated like water in the summer heat. Finally, I confessed all my sins to you and stopped trying to hide my guilt. I said to myself, I will confess my rebellion to the Lord, and you forgave me. All my guilt is gone. Therefore, let all the godly pray to you while there is still time, that they may not drown in the floodwaters of judgment, for you are my hiding place. You protect me from trouble. You surround me with songs of victory. The Lord says, I will guide you along the best pathway for your life. I will advise you and watch over you. Do not be like a senseless horse or mule that needs a bit and bridle to keep under control. Many sorrows come to the wicked, but unfailing love surrounds those who trust the Lord. So rejoice in the Lord and be glad, all you who obey him. Shout for joy, all you whose hearts are pure." So the big theme in Psalm 32 is all about releasing sin and the joy that follows that act of releasing and trusting in God. So I have a few questions. Obviously, we're not like together, so I'll ask them and answer them myself. Okay, anyway, so the first question, I really like thought questions. I love analogies and things that say something without saying it, or things that create pictures in your head. That's how my brain thinks, so I use them a lot. So, what is the job of a baseball batter? The job of a baseball batter is to hit the ball, right? You couldn't have a game without that. And in order for that one action, to happen, the pitcher needs to throw the ball. If the pitcher never threw the ball, the batter would never hit the ball, and therefore everybody would be standing in their positions like, it's a really nice diamond-shaped field. 10 out of 10, oh look, there's all these people around. Wonder why they're here just watching us stand. Like there would be nothing to watch. There would be nothing to participate in. I ask these questions to highlight that it's not normal to hold things in forever. Like, this is a water bottle. If I hold it for 70 years, like I'm gonna drop it. Like it's not normal for me to do all of my normal everyday responsibilities and activities with this water bottle in my hand. Like I'm not gonna brush my teeth, wash my hand, coronavirus, vacuum, comb my hair, shake somebody's hand, do school, go throughout life holding this water bottle. Like it's not normal to hold things forever. You need to let things go. Just like a baseball game is frozen in place until some motion is starts the game, like the throw or the pitch or the whacky whack whack. So it's like you will not be able to freely run until your sin is released and you are walking in truth. However, the enemy tries to influence us that to release and let go of what we're holding in, that we're going to be put under a microscope, and biology and chemistry students are going to be like, ooh, look at them, that we're going to be living this life of shame and guilt and condemnation and be an outcast, and that people won't accept us and people won't love us. But it's all a big lie. The contrast of that, the truth of releasing sin and opening up, is that it opens doors to walk freely in God's grace. So God sent his son Jesus to die on the cross, and because of him dying on the cross, we are free of shame and we're completely forgiven. But you can't walk in that truth if you yourself don't lay down the weight that you're carrying, because then you're holding on to something that has already been died for. When we release sin, we're able to walk in God's grace, and we're able to take a step closer to walking purely with God and furthering his kingdom with a pure pursuit, with and through powerful vulnerability and testimony. So a couple main lessons jumped out of the Psalms, and I'm just going to read over them. So the first one is that those who live in complete honesty, not partial honesty, will have joy. Sin is heavy and sin deteriorates. Like I was talking about with this water bottle, if I hold this for the rest of my life, my arm, while it may get buff, is gonna get tired. Like eventually I'm gonna drop it. If you're wearing a weighted vest in the desert, eventually you're gonna deteriorate because it's hot and roasty toasty, and you have all this extra unnecessary weight on you when things are already hot enough. They're already tough enough as it is. You don't need to be holding on this weight that's already been taken care of. Eventually, sin will break you down and it will eat away. The push and nudge that you feel, that little voice that's like, share. It's God's hand of discipline, and that shouldn't be ignored. It's a hand that's guiding you. As hard as you might try, you cannot hide from God in any which way. Like if I were to hide behind this bush right now, and tell everybody that I identified as invisible, that would be false. And even if I magically was invisible, God would still see me. Like there's nothing you can do to hide yourself from God. And there's freedom when you stop exerting unnecessary energy trying to keep something hidden from God. He already knows. In confessing, you'll be forgiven, as verse 5 mentions, all guilt will be gone. God is our hiding place. He's safe. He's not somebody who exposes us. It's not like a scam phone call where you get it and they ask you a question like, can you hear me? And you say no. And even though you said no, they take your voice, the sound of it, and they can use it for other things and form it into you saying yes. And all of a sudden you're like, what? That wasn't me. He doesn't take your information and manipulate it and then, sell it out to a bunch of other people to make a profit for himself. He is truly a safe place, and really the only true, complete safe place. You can absolutely confide in him. God will lead you down the path that he has created for you. Why not hand over the keys to someone who already has authority? God can turn absolutely anything around, no matter how dark, how shameful, how serious, how burdened, how upsetting a situation is. He can turn it around. In verse 9, it says, do not be like a senseless horse or mule that needs a bit and bridle to keep it under control. Don't avoid or neglect responsibility. Don't cower and try to hide, because like we already said, God is who you can hide in. God is who you can confide in, and he can already see you anyway. So don't resist opening up. Embrace it. Be mindful. So friends, to end this, today is the day. Come out of your man-made hiding place, the one you have configured out of fear, and slip into God's hiding place. It is so much safer than how you imagine it. And for a change, the seeker, God, will not expose you. It's not like a regular game of hide and seek where, once again, for some reason I'm using this plant. If I was hiding behind this plant, which there's not much to hide behind, but if I was hiding and we were playing a game of hide and seek in my dining room, which I'm sitting in, a normal game would be like, oh, I found you, you're out. But God doesn't do that. So I'd like to end with Luke 8:17, which says, for all that is secret will eventually be brought into the open, and everything that is concealed will be brought to light and made known to all. So whatever it is that you're carrying, that is weighing you down, eventually it's going to be brought into the open. And eventually, dark as it may be, as well concealed as you think you are hiding it, it's going to be brought out in light. So there's just so much freedom in opening up to God. And there's a lot of freedom, which I'm discovering myself, of sharing with other believers, because you don't need to keep it in and you're not meant to. There's joy and there's freedom and there's so much opportunity when you just take a deep breath and you say, okay, I'm gonna do this. It's gonna be really hard. It's probably gonna be really uncomfortable. I'm probably gonna want a 10-minute hug afterwards and do some goat yoga. But it'll be so beneficial in your walk with Christ, because that is taking off, that is one step further into releasing into God, who God is, which He is all powerful, all knowing, above all. And there is just so much freedom and so much joy in that. So I want to encourage you today to spend some time with God, open up with God, and ask Him what it is that you can release in the process of getting closer to Him. So yeah, have a great Saturday. I was going to say Sunday, but hey, have a great Sunday too. And I hope you like my corner as much as I do.